Texas hasn't played that well either, and they've had a lot of bad luck, Kluber, and everything else. And, of course, Arizona won last night, so they will pitch Bumgarner against Lance Lynn today. Arizona closing a road trip, I believe, and Texas ending a homestand. Bruce, your thoughts on our showcase at 4?
Yeah, 4 Eastern. Steve Nelson, Tom Verducci on the call. And look, we talked a lot about it, struggling offenses. Boy, I mean, Chris, the Rangers have scored 6 runs on the season. I know it's only 5 games, but you know what? When you're at home and you're on the road, if you've played at that paltry number, you're not going to win many games. But it's a very good pitching matchup. You know, Lance Lynn now really has to be the guy with the news on Corey Kluber right now. You got him and Minor atop that rotation. Yes, they've added some back-end pieces like Kyle Gibson and Jordan Lyles, but Lynn is the guy that really needs to step up for them. And listen, he was okay. He was fine in the opener against the Rockies. Bumgarner was good against the Padres. He went 5+ innings, didn't allow anything, got a little tired, gave up some runs in his opening season loss. Again, not quite throwing as hard as we're accustomed to seeing him, but he's very resourceful. He'll find a way, and it's a terrific pitching matchup. 2 teams off to slow starts who are obviously going to look to start turning things around versus one another this afternoon.
I like Arizona. At the end of the day, I think they'd be very competitive. They'd be in the mix with the Rockies and Padres for that second spot in the NL West. I don't think Texas will be. I didn't buy into the great Texas staff to begin with at the start of the year. Everybody loved the Minor, Lynn, Gibson, Kluger, the guy who just got hurt. Blank for a second. I think everybody thought about him as obviously being the anchor of that staff. And I think, Texas is in a tough division. The A's are good. Tough road trips out in the West Coast a lot. You got Houston sitting there. I didn't like Texas as much as everybody else did. But, listen, they need to win a ball game today in the worst way. Not having a big pitcher is going to hurt them. But I think Arizona's got a better chance in the long run to be more effective in their division than Texas does in theirs. Bruce, your thoughts. Let me hear.
Well, to answer your first question, yeah, I mean, I had Arizona as a playoff team, and we were only talking about 5 teams. Now that we're talking about 8 teams per league, absolutely. I still think they obviously got plenty of time to overcome their slow start. The Rangers, though, are interesting. Given the addition of Kluber before what happened to him over the weekend, you had to like Texas's chances as maybe one of those lower rung AL playoff teams when we're talking about 8. Right now, I would say no.
Well, if you look at the 8 teams postseason starting the year, and let's forget the injury to Kluber, if you're starting the year, you were going to be obviously talking Yankees, Tampa, Houston, Oakland, Cleveland, Minnesota. So the extra 2 spots would have been, White Sox, Texas, Angels. I would think along those. I don't think the Red Sox had the pitching. So you're right. They probably were going to look at a 7th or an 8th seed. Do you think they still have a chance for their 7th and 8th seed now with this injury?
No, because even if they pitch to their level of expectation, even sans Kluber, where's the offense going to come from, Chris? They tried to get Arenado in the offseason. They tried to get Rendon in the offseason. They knew they had an inherent problem with their offensive setup. And, with all due respect to Todd Frazier, that's not quite cutting it. They had some severe offensive deficiencies that are still there. You like Gallo, but what's surrounding him in that lineup that you have any high regard for at this point? It's just not there.
Yeah, and Arizona did a nice job. They could have won 2 in San Diego. Padres are playing well. Good start for them at 4-1, but I think the Diamondbacks will bounce back and be, as you say, very competitive. You liked them before the year began anyway as far as being in the top 5 team in the NL. They should be in the top 8.